communication becomes Tai Chi communication. When you're
What a
taking a bath, it is a
combo.
Tai Chi bath.
Yeah, what a combo.
It's
Actually, what you practice in action, she does in
huh,
words, or vice versa,
absolutely,
What she does in
absolutely.
words, you practice in action.
She's a
Actually, both of you
subconscious
can learn from
practitioner.
each other. Both
She's
of
a
you can.
subconscious practitioner of what she's going to learn. So she's already in the future, like a lot of movies that we see, where from the future you come back to the present and then live the present again. So wonderful. On that very, very delightful note, shall we start off?
Ready.
Wonderful. So
So we need a mat, right? No, we just stand, right?
no, we sit down most of the time, and then once in a while we stand up during this, 90 minutes or whatever we have of it now. I think we have 80 minutes now. So what I will do is I have my chart in front of me, so I know exactly what I'm going to be doing next. So the first thing I said is record, so that I don't forget to record it. The next thing it says is bowl. So let me show you what the bowl is. Some keywords. That's what you call the singing bowl. It's a Tibetan bowl. So what we do is we use this to basically clear the energies to create a great energy for the rest of the session, and to see that everything flows in harmony, and all things great are going to be witnessed in the next 75 minutes that we're going to be together learning whatever we would like to learn from whatever is being downloaded here. So on that very pleasant note, positive note, we will now get into one practice immediately, and then we will come on to a lot of knowledge that we will gather in the next 15 minutes after that. So about 5 minutes of practice. So we start on an experiential note. So to respond to the question which Deepak was asking, do we sit on a mat? Do we sit in a chair? It's absolutely your choice. You can either sit in a chair or you can sit comfortably on the downstairs on the mat, as you would like to, do it. And wherever you're sitting, if you're sitting downstairs, absolutely fine. If you're sitting on the chair, you can come half forward in the chair so that your spine is able to, you can maintain a erect spine as much as possible. So while doing this, your legs are parallel to the ground. Your palms are wherever you can comfortably put them facing up. You can put them there, rest them there. And we're going to do something called the intentful adjustments, three intentional adjustments or intentful adjustments of the body, breath, and mind. So this is a very, very short mindfulness practice. And this is something which we begin every Qigong practice, every Tai Chi practice with, as much as possible. So in doing this, you can close your eyes and let's start with aligning the body. So your spine is as straight as possible. And you can imagine a string of pearls pulling you from the top of the head into the heavens above, and another string of pearls pulling you from the base of the spine into the earth below. So between the heaven and earth, the yang and the yin, you are stretched to your maximum potential horizontally and vertically. And as you open up, you're able to gather as much energy as possible from the heaven and earth between which we exist. Energies flow much better when you are like this. In aligning your body, we shall also now align our breath. As you inhale and exhale, settle into a nice and comfortable pattern of breathing, which relaxes you and keeps you nice and comfortable for the next few minutes that we are going to be together. And even afterward. A nice and comfortable pace of breathing, so that right from the top of the head to the bottom of the feet, you're absolutely relaxed, stretched, yet relaxed. And to this, we shall also align our mind. Our mind is now in that beautiful space before us. The past is on one side, the future is on one side, the mind is now in the present, the space in front of us, so that we are absolutely engaged in learning and occupying ourselves for the next few minutes in this wonderful new science and art that we're going to pick up as we move forward. Totally involved here and now. Having aligned all the three, the body, breath, and mind, let's blissfully enjoy this for the next 1 minute in silence. The state of being. And slowly, at your own comfort, retaining that blissful state, join us back in just opening your eyes. Take your time so that we may move forward in this particular session. Take your time and slowly, at your own comfort, sail back to open your eyes. Okay. I think Sailesh got logged out.
Oh,
And Neha, I'd request you to come on camera. So that's the only request I have for the people in the session, so that it's experiential and I'm not alone. I'm not feeling alone. Harish is there? Not able to see?
Yes.
I can see the
Yes.
tree of life, though, a very prosperous tree. Okay.
Okay.
So this is wonderful. Hey, great, sir. So this is called the three intentful alignments. This is one of the first practices that we do. This can also be used in different applications. A nice, quick login for the day every day, 2-3 minutes, and then the entire day goes great actually because you start on a mindful note. Whether one wants to do it immediately after getting up, or one wants to do it after getting ready and just about getting started in the professional phase of life, absolutely your choice. So
Srinivas, so body, I got it. Then breath, I got it. The mind was basically,
mind is basically that we help the mind come in the present
yeah, okay.
and keep it in the present, and imagine the past on one side and the future on one side, and ensure that the mind is actually brought to this physical space called the present. so that we are separating it from the mind from the past and the future, and consciously positioning it in the present, which is that space that we have allocated in front of us.
Got it. Got it.
So that way. So it stays there. Great. Nice to see you, Neha. Okay. So this is called the 3 alignments. And at any point of time, you want to ask any doubts, just do pitch in. And one of the hidden blessings is that since we are lesser number of participants, you can ask more questions actually. So in everything, there is a blessing. So then what we'll do is I'll share a video with you, which talks about, which you will see the Grandmaster from whom I've learned, Dr. Roger Yanka. And you're also going to be looking at, Vanita is just joining. You're also going to be looking at what is Tai Chi and Qigong.
Oh, Vanita is from Kenya.
Okay, yeah, that's nice.
Today is the dawning of the rest of your whole life.
So one quick check. Are you all able to see this video? Deepak, are you able to see the video?
Today is the dawning of the
You're able to
rest
listen,
of your whole
listen to the
life.
sound?
Imagine
Sound is not there?
your new life.
Okay, so let me put on the sound. So you're saying there's no sound?
No, sound is there. Sound is there.
Sound is there? Okay. Great.
A life of inner peace and of vibrant health and well-being. Right now, discover ancient secrets of radiant health and longevity. Empower yourself with
That's Roger Yanka.
time-tested
He's all about
mind-body
74
practices
years,
and Tai Chi.
Doctor of Oriental Medicine.
Get amazing
Practitioner of
results
Tai Chi and
with
Qigong for the
gentle
last 40
fitness, Qigong, breath practices, and healing self-massage. Transform your life with meditation, mindfulness, and visualization. Free your mind. Deepen your awareness and peace. Discover your true nature. Dissolve stress. Relieve your pain. Awaken your life force and feel extra energized. Experience your natural happiness. Practice anywhere, anytime. Join the millions of your friends, family, and communities everywhere who are experiencing amazing health and life breakthroughs. Learn self-healing practices, effective, no-cost disease prevention, at-home wellness practices. Be fit at any age. Achieve your ideal weight and body size. Increase your vitality. Experience a long, healthy life. Feel inner peace. You are at the threshold of your extraordinary self.
Okay. I'm assuming all of you have been also able to hear the sound, because I'm not able to hear the sound when I put on the video because of the
Yes.
Bluetooth. Wonderful. So that's a short introduction. That gentleman is all of 74 and yet very active. He's learned the martial art form of Tai Chi and Qigong also, and the wellness form, which we are going to be discussing now. So that's some of the, those are some of the techniques, the 4 baskets I will talk about, and some of the benefits actually in terms of weight loss, in terms of pain relief, in terms of a lot of things, in healing also. So somebody who's in therapy, like I do therapy, Ruchi said she does therapy. So anyone who's into therapy also can integrate Tai Chi and Qigong into therapy. I've used it in coaching, I've used it in counseling, I've used it in whatnot, so let's see how it happens. So what we will do is I'll put on a few slides, and so that we understand what is Tai Chi and Qigong in theory, and then get on to the experiential part of it. So this is a curtain raiser being done especially for Entrepreneurs International, and thank you very much for the opportunity. So anyone could anyone elaborate on, have you heard anything about Tai Chi and Qigong, and do you know anything that you would like to start off with in understanding Qigong and Tai Chi? Can you hazard a guess?
I can hazard a guess for sure.
Yes, yes.
But definitely, it's just a very layman's perspective. And Shivang, she is the energy, or what we call prana in Sanskrit, right? That
Okay,
is the
yes.
chi that I understand, energy. And I suppose this is a means of um, conditioning our energy to move it in the with the natural rhythms of the universe and getting in tune with it, like I said. So that is what I understand, and we do that through body practices, movement, breath practices, and mental or mindfulness practice, meditation as well. That's what I understand so far.
Okay.
Wonderful. Great. Anyone else would like to? Thank you very much, Ruchi. It'll be nice if all of you can come on to your cameras, because that'll make it more human, and that'll make it more interactive actually. Otherwise, we are looking at, just faces, photos actually of people. Great. So anyone? So what I'll do is, without further, ado, I'll just expand on what, Ruchi said. So Qigong is when you're working with or playing. Chi is energy, prana, and gong is, what do you call, manipulation or working with. So it's Qigong. Qigong is manipulation of energy or working with energy. What is the energy we are talking about? There are, all of you know, energy channels within the body, and they're all, they carry micro electric currents, very small electric currents, and they've been measured. So the electric currents that flow, the prana which flows, actually distinguishes us from the living and the non-living actually. That prana is what makes us move, makes us do things, and makes us experience things, emotions, feelings. Every part of the experience that we have in life is because of the prana that we have, and that's the current, and that's the undercurrent within us. So when we have disease, there is, in other words, there's an energy block. So energy block is equal to disease in another way. So the moment you start moving the energy in your body, wherever there's stagnant energy, there's disease. So when you move energy in your body and energy is moving freely, then just like a drainage which is flowing freely, the energy flowing freely ensures that you don't have any diseases. And it means that you don't have any disease. Conversely, if there is no disease, that means energy is moving absolutely freely within the body. Not only within the body, but also this energy is connected, and through Qigong we can connect better to the energy of the universe, so that morning, afternoon, evening, because you're getting replenished because of the flowing energy in and out, just like you breathe oxygen and let out carbon dioxide, energy, the pranamaya kosha is replenished, the outer sheath, the energy body that we have is getting replenished with the energy of the universe. Through the Qigong that work we do, it happens better, and hence you can never feel tired. So in the morning, evening, afternoon, you're not burnt out. You're absolutely as fresh as you started off in the morning. So that's one of the great things that you can experience through the work of Qigong, through the practice of Qigong. So that is also how it is distinguished between yoga and Qigong. Yoga has fantastic benefits, and yoga has so many practices, and yoga is our own Indian thing. I always say that there is a fantastic complement called Tai Chi and Qigong to yoga. So one can do both and get the benefit of both. This focuses more on the energy part of it, how we will experience as we go forward in the next, from the next 5 minutes onwards, right? So this is more of energy focus. And Qigong and Tai Chi are also called meditation in motion. So while in yoga you hold positions, here you continuously move. So this is a different road to more or less the same benefits that we see through yoga. So how we do it is, for example, if you're going to witness some very slow movements, which I'll take you through. Through the slow movement, the heart slows down, the breathing slows down, and there is stillness of thoughts, and a person gets into meditative, stillness, meditative. So it's called meditation in motion. So you're moving, yet you're in a meditative state. Isn't that wonderful? So that way, you can even meditatively drive a car without dozing off. so, so all of that as we go forward. So Qigong is energy work, activating the energy within and connecting to the energy outside, the infinite energy outside, so that you're not using your physical body. You're achieving things through energy, and it's very subtle, and it's less effort and more results, just like an LED bulb, less current and more brightness. So you become like that. What is Tai Chi then? Tai Chi is also a subset of Qigong. Tai Chi is also energy work. However, it has a pair of opposite movements always. So if you move to the left, you also move to the right. If you move up, you move down. So there are a pair of symmetrical opposite movements is Tai Chi. Tai Chi is more of a dance form. Tai Chi is more of, something which other outer world likes to, to be shown, or you would like to show the outer world. It's more of a slow dance. And it is also energy work, where you direct energy to whichever side you're moving, etc., etc. So Tai Chi is symmetrical. Qigong need not be symmetrical. Qigong is the mothership. Tai Chi is the small ship which is part of Qigong. So Tai Chi is also Qigong work that way. And Tai Chi also, as you will see the symbol as we go forward, is the balancing of opposites within a person. Just like there is day and night, there is happiness and sadness, there is winter and summer. So the duality, which is so nicely balanced in universe, is also there within the body. In yoga language, we call it Ida and Pingala, the nadis, and the Sushumna nadi. Similarly, in Western psychology, suppose I'm talking about NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, we talk about the left brain and the right brain. In Indian world, we also talk about the material and the spiritual. So what happens is that when you're doing these practices of Tai Chi, you're balancing the duality within you, the material and the spiritual. There are some people who are very materially successful, but on the spiritual side, on the side of peace, on the side of calmness, on the side of social connections, they may be lacking. So the yang energy is fantastic, but the yin energy is something which they would like to work on. The yin energy is the feminine energy, the earth energy. The yang energy is the heaven energy, like we say, Father in heaven, Mother Earth. So that person through the Tai Chi practices can become more balanced in terms of spirituality or the social connection also. So the yin and yang are balanced. They are successful and peaceful also. On the other hand, there are people who are very, very social, who are very, very outgoing, who are very comfortable in helping others, who are very there's a lot of empathy that they carry in all this. There's socially, the right brain, everything is absolutely fine. But on the material side, they somehow seem to be lacking something. They've not achieved material success. They cannot think of achieving their own goals. They help others at their own cost and all these things. So materially, there's something lacking. So through the practice of Tai Chi, such people can also become materially balanced. So the material and the spiritual balancing can happen through the practice of Tai Chi. So that way, there is a balancing of duality within the individual through the practices of Tai Chi. And that's how it's subtly different and subtly more focused than Qigong. Qigong could be a general wellness practice. Tai Chi could be a specific practice to balance certain things that you would like to balance within yourself. So at this point of time, I would not mind taking a couple of questions if you want to ask me at this point of time. Otherwise, we can go forward. We have an open house even after this session, after the practices are over. Anything that you would like to ask? Absolutely welcome.
So yang actually is the more active.
Masculine energy.
Yeah.
The energy from the heavens, the energy from the upper source.
And the yin is the more
Yin is
calm.
the earthly energy, the energy from the earth, the feminine aspects, the connecting to the right brain in Western psychology. And the yang is the heaven energy from the heavens, the masculine energy, the material energy, the yang energy. So yang and yin. Any more questions? You can just keep reflecting, and anytime you get a question, you can just stop me and ask. So if this is clear, then yes, please. Okay, so I think there is somebody can, I mean, if you're not talking, you can keep your mic on mute. Okay. Yeah, Vanita, you've raised your hand. Yes. So I'll stop the share so that I can see all of you in one screen. Yes, you were saying
Yeah.
something.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I wanted
Good
to ask,
evening.
how long does it take to learn this?
To learn, I have a session which is starting on 26th, which takes about 8 hours, 1 hour per day for 8 days. However, to become graceful may take all of 6 months to 6 years. And I'm with you. We have a
does
Sunday
it need,
practice.
Sorry, do you need flexibility? Do you have to be flexible?
You can be you can become flexible as you go along. You don't need to be flexible to start off.
Okay, another question. How do you compare it with yoga?
It's a fantastic compliment, is what I was sharing earlier to yoga, in the sense that yoga, you hold positions. Yoga is more, you can focus on particular areas, and you can work out on those areas. Tai Chi Qigong is more of a holistic practice of the entire body. So it's more of a distant healing. It's more of a distant preventive wellness practice, where the entire body and the energy through the entire body is addressed actually.
Okay.
However, it can also be specific to the part, because, for example, Sadhu, you want to cure something in your throat, just pass the energies through the throat, and the whatever has to correct itself gets corrected. So you can direct energy to the part that you want healed. So the one distinct difference is yoga, you hold positions. In Tai Chi, you are continuously moving in Tai Chi and Qigong. The second one is, in Tai Chi and Qigong, you focus more on energy movement within the body. In yoga, you are also focused on the physical part. So they are beautiful complements. They do not contradict each other.
What is the
So,
second
sorry. I think I have too many questions.
Yes.
And does it activate the chakras?
It does. That's good news. Yes. In
It
Chinese,
does.
they call it the upper dantian, the middle dantian, and the lower dantian. In
Okay.
in our philosophy, in the Indian philosophy, you have the 7 chakras.
Chakras. Okay.
For how long have you been doing it?
Okay. And sorry, I think I missed the beginning. I don't know. I am sorry. I'm just freshening up. And how long have you been doing it, Murthy?
I have been doing it for the last 5 years, since 2016 January, when I learned it from the masters who came from the US. Dr.
Okay.
Roger Yanka, Santa Barbara, California.
Okay.
He runs an institute called the Institute of Integral Qigong and Tai Chi. He's all of 74, and he's been practicing for the last 40 years. He keeps going to the Wudang Mountains in China and learning from the monks there in the Wudang Mountains. So it's as authentic as you can get.
Okay. And does it involve self-defense as well? Like,
No, it
because
involves
I
only
can-
no. It involves only this is the wellness form. This is
wellness.
the health and wellness form. So you have the
Okay.
dance
And is it
movements.
just for your own individual self, or can you also help others?
You can help others by teaching them the various techniques, and they can practice by themselves. You can.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Fantastic. Deepak, you were asking
It sounds very exciting.
something. And we'll witness it now. We'll go from theory to practice. Yes, Deepak.
The second point which you mentioned, yoga, you hold position, whereas Tai Chi and Qigong it's a flowing movement. The
Yes.
second point difference is, what is it in yoga is?
In yoga is you work more on the physical parts, physical aspects, trying to the organs and the whereas here it is flow of energy. You focus more on the energy. After some time, you go beyond physical movement to the energy movement. You start moving the energy. So you go beyond the Annamaya Kosha to the Pranamaya Kosha in Tai Chi and Qigong. Right. Okay. So on that note, let me share the other.
Just
Yeah.
want to put a disclaimer over here that yoga is, like I said, popularly now as West has advertised to the physical asanas. Apart from that, traditionally, yoga has nothing to do with asana. There's only one asana required, the seated posture. So yoga is more about, you begin from the energy itself, move to the mind, and then deeper to the higher realms. So that is where it is at. So unfortunately, it's now, I don't know what to call it, but notorious for the physical movement.
Yeah,
It has nothing to
absolutely.
do with the physical movement, really. So please don't count that as a difference at all. It is more about the energy work and the mental work and more of the spiritual realms.
Okay. Yeah. So definitely, I mean, I stand corrected in terms of the communication that I can use to communicate about yoga. Well, if it is energy work, then what I would call it is just like we have different modalities. And then what happens is that, see, we have, for example, there is Reiki, there is pranic healing and all this. While they are all different in terms of names, ultimately it's one universe, one energy, one human being that we are working on. So names are different, but it's all overlapping energy work. So perhaps we will take it as that here also. Yeah, the approach may be slightly different. Perhaps we're working on the same spirituality, the same energy enhancement and all that. So definitely I taken that learning. Thank you very much. Shall we move ahead? Great. So what I was also wanting to add is that typically we are in life, we are on the sympathetic nervous system during the day, which is the fight or flight response, especially more during these last few years, let's say the last 20, 30 years. Tensions have been increasing and people have been wanting to achieve, wanting to be more competitive and all these. So there, what is happening is you're using more of the left brain, you're using more of your fight or flight response most of the time, and people get stressed out during the day, by the end of the day, etc., etc. When you're relaxing in the evening, or when you're actually sleeping, and that's where the other system, just one.
You think biscuit, Esther?
Parasympathetic nervous system is the other part of the nervous system. I think both of them are part of the autonomic nervous system. So here, the body is in heal and repair mode, or it's also called the rest and digest system. So when you are sleeping, when we are all relaxing and sleeping, I think that's when this system is most active. And here, the body is getting into a healing mode, so that by the next day morning, if you've had a good sleep, you're feeling fresh, you're feeling active, you're feeling nice, ready to go for the day. So here, what happens is that there is conservation of energy, and yet the body is healing itself. So you're giving your body a chance to repair, refresh from all the stress and strain of the earlier day. So this is something which is good for the long-term health of the human body and mind. So the beauty in Tai Chi and Qigong is that through these practices, some of which we will quickly get on to as soon as possible, you are able to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, or the relaxed state of the cruise mode of the human body, I call it, during the day also. So you are flowing through the day. You're, whether you're talking about communication that we were commenting as Ruchi started off, or you're talking to, you're actually driving a car, or you're cooking, or you're doing some work, your flow is much more smooth. You are able to take off, take the flight, and then land very smoothly. Conflicts are minimized with your own self and with others also, and a lot of good things happen actually. So it becomes a very effortless life. You're flowing and things are happening. You think, and most of it is happening without too much of physical effort or having to really get into a fight or flight mode. Ye karna, ye aisa karo, aisa karo, aisa. You don't need to tell. Your aura speaks, your energy speaks, and you're able to achieve a lot of things. People can see that in you very easily. So this is the parasympathetic nervous system, which is activated during the day also. So hence less burnout, hence more grace, hence you enjoy life much better, and people around you also enjoy your company much better. This is something which we all know. The body, I mean, especially people who are in the healing space, the body can produce its own medicine and can heal itself, provided we give it a chance. So through the practices of Qigong and Tai Chi, and like Ruchi says, just like in yoga also, the body can heal itself much better because we are producing, allowing it to produce its own medicine, which is much better than the medicine that we deliver from outside, which is nothing but, according to me, chemical poisoning of the body, especially the allopathic medicine. Now, this is what is the pictorial representation of yang and yin, and the heart mind is the human being in between, practicing Tai Chi and harnessing both the yang and the yin to the optimum extent. So your energies are optimized, I would say, And when you come for the workshop, which is starting on 26th, if you choose to do so, then what we are going to be learning is 4 baskets of practice, and we will go into details of this. Self-applied massage. There are certain points, and those points, when tapped, increase the immunity of the body. We work on the lymphatic system also, and we increase the immunity, enhance the immunity, especially in these times, through the tapping or the self-applied massage, as we call it. Similarly, there are breath practices, some of which 1 or 2 of each we will experience now. The last 3 baskets, the second, third, and fourth. There is gentle movements, Tai Chi and Qigong. Both Qigong and Tai Chi, we have movements, and we also have relaxation, visualization, and meditation. So all of these we'll be getting into details as we go into the workshop. Actually, some of these we'll experience now and see how we can activate the parasympathetic nervous system, or the relaxed cruise mode of the human body, where you don't know things are happening, but what you wish for is absolutely flowing in your life. Isn't that a fantastic state to be in? And that's the last slide, the thank you slide. Thank you, but we are not yet done. We've just started. Okay, so that's gratitude for the theory. And now we get into the excitement of practice. 8:45, we still have 45 minutes to go. If you are ready, I'm ready. And let's get into, okay, I'm just looking at the whiteboard in front of me saying, what shall we do now? Feeling chi plus energizing the organs. Okay, I think we'll start with that. So what I'll do is sit back so that I can, you can watch as I do it, and you can follow along with me. Drinking water was optional, actually. Okay, so you have your hands, you have your palms, you have your hands. So this is called feeling the chi. So we're going to feel the chi, or the energy, or the prana shakti. So very nicely bringing in feelings and emotions into this. And you all know that the hand and the palm, the fingers and the palms and the back, this is one dashboard for the entire human body. These are one dashboard. The ears are one more dashboard, and the sole of the feet are dashboards. The nervous system for the entire body terminates in these 3 places. So the moment you for example, massage the hand, it's a shortcut to massaging the entire body. And on a funny note, it costs lesser to get the hand massage done than the full body massage. So, okay. So what we'll do is we'll start massaging the fingers and the palms. And one more thing that distinguishes, that's a distinguishing feature of Tai Chi and Qigong is you do it with feelings, you do it with emotions. For example, there is love and affection flowing to each one of these fingers and the palm and the back of the palm as you're doing this. Love and affection creates healing. And the parts are so happy that you're in touch with them after a long time, if you've not been in touch with them. Where have we given this much of conscious attention to all these parts on a daily basis? Perhaps we've been busy running. Care for yourself, and you will care for the world. You will offer a better yourself to the world. And that's all the world needs, the best of us, from each of us to all of us. So as much as possible, we are stimulating, especially since we are using a lot of mobile phone nowadays. So to get the activation to the sensitivity to the energy may take some time. I'm also using my knuckles to knead the palm. And the hands are supposed to be very powerful chakra centers. That's why people bless using the hands, people receive using the hands, receive energy, I mean, and back of the palm also. And having done this, let's now actually bring the palms together and really press them against each other really hard as much as possible. Press. And when you can press them no more, and you press them hard enough, slowly start separating the palms. Take them apart as you inhale. And bring them together again as you exhale. And when they are just about together, once again, inhale as you bring them apart, really slowly. Everything is slow in Tai Chi and Qigong. Slow is the winner. We'll do this a few more times, a couple of more times. You're very mindful, absolutely involved in this process and doing it with the greatest delight and involvement, immersed in the practice. Each one of these practices takes us towards mindfulness. I'll do it just once more. And then as you bring them together, go into a rotating movement, either clockwise or anti-clockwise, with your palms in one direction. Just rotate them a little bit, just maybe half an inch away from each other. You might even now have already started feeling the tingling sensation or the vibration or the attraction and repulsion, whatever is happening between those hands, palms. And you can now reverse the motion in the other direction. So if it is clockwise, anti-clockwise, or vice versa. Two more times. And now as you hold your palms together, very near each other, are you able to feel something, anything? Yeah? So Vanita says yes. What does Ruchi say? Okay, when you're bringing them near each other, you know? Okay. What does Neha say?
There is something is there.
Something is there. Okay.
Yeah, some sensations that you feel in your
sensation.
palm and fingers. Yeah, you
And if you're not
actually
feeling
feel
it
them.
today, maybe you'll feel it tomorrow. There's no problem at all with practice. So when you bring them together, you're able to feel more of it. So if it's okay if you're not able to feel it. So how about Ruchi? Okay. Okay. So I'll have to look at read the sign language. Okay, maybe tomorrow, no problem. Right. So all those who are able to feel it, what you can do is just create a ball, a chi ball, energy ball. You can imagine this to be one of your favorite colors. The ball can have one of your favorite colors or a mix of colors, and you become one with the ball. You identify with the ball, move it up and down, and from one side of you to another side of you. So what is happening is you identify with the ball so that you can use it whenever you want for any positive purpose. You turn the ball around and take it from one side to another. And you can create it to be not very big, not very small, but something which you can handle easily. And having identified this G ball and wanting to work with it, now what we'll do is this energy is something which has to be used for a constructive purpose. So what we will do at this point of time is, after feeling the chi, we will use it to energize our organs. So we'll go from the top to the bottom as I guide you. So take this energy ball to the top of your head. So in essence, in yogic language, we are working with the pranamaya kosha right now, the energy body which is outside the physical body. I'm giving this energy to my entire, to the top of the head, to the forehead, to my eyes, just 1 inch away or half inch away, to the chin, to the cheeks, the chin, the jaws, the temples, the ears. Some of you may be able to feel some heat, some temperature as you do this. The back of the head, to the neck, the thyroid gland, and all that is there within the neck region, the vocal cords, the windpipe, the food pipe. And then what I do is I stretch my hand and actually pass over the hand in giving energy to the hand, starting from the shoulder to the palm and the fingers. And then I come back again from below. Giving positive energy, giving healing energy. And then I come to the center and go to the other hand in terms of giving energy. So one hand is the client and the other hand is the therapist, one at a time. And go back to the center. Energize the region of the chest also, the lungs, the heart, the rib cage, the chest, the entire region. And then when you're done with that, slowly at your own pace, you can follow your own pace. There's absolutely no problem. The abdominal region, the small intestine, the large intestine, the stomach, the liver, the pancreas, every part that you know exists in that region. And every practice, every part of the practice is done with feelings, with emotions, with mindfulness, so that it's absolutely effective. I'm going on to the pelvic region. And then on to the thighs. So I'm taking both my arms and actually passing on my thighs, inside and outside also. Onto the knees, a very important junction in life. Onto the ankles, the feet, and I come back up the calf muscles, the back of the thighs, the seat. I energize the region of my seat, go up to my lower back and the kidneys, energize the kidneys. And if possible, I also reach up to my the middle of the back. And now what we'll also do is come forward and take for example, I'm taking my right hand to the left side and pushing it with the other palm. I'm using my other palm to push it back, energizing the back of the lung area, the upper shoulder. And once you do it for a few days, you will be able to get sensitive to the energy flow. So this is just the beginning. And the shoulder region. I'll do the same with the other hand. Go across to the other side and energize the back of the shoulder. And shoulder and come back. Now, one region that we did not cover, which we can now, very important, is take your hand. When you're doing the energizing the hand itself, you can continue. So you can continue down, and this is where there are lymph clusters. So at the neck region, the armpit and the thigh region, the pit of the thighs. So this increases the lymphatic system is responsible for the immunity. So give energy to this region below the armpit region, down the side, and you're enhancing your immunity automatically. So very simple practices. And then also the other side, because we wouldn't want to leave out the other side. This practice, especially for the COVID times nowadays. Come back and relax. So amazingly, we are 1 hour into the session and we've not yet started on the Qigong and Tai Chi, which we will do it with enough gusto now. So we've got enough build up now to get on to what is Tai Chi and Qigong. So all we are doing is build up for the last 1 hour. So let's utilize the next 1 hour to next half an hour to do this. So this is called feeling Qi and energizing your organs. The same thing when we're not going to do self-applied massage today, but the same thing when you're doing the massage, the same sequence that you followed, what you do is you actually start tapping, so that's how it is. So this we have done on an energy level. There you do it on a physical level. So when you're doing the self-applied massage, you can either tap, or you can use your knuckles, or you can use your fingers, etc. So what is the secret? As far as Tai Chi and Qigong is concerned, energy blocks cause disease. So when you're tapping, and energy, stress is stored, whether it is physical or emotional, at the muscle level. So when you're tapping the stress out of the muscles in a way. So what happens is, because of that, you get de-stressed. So self-applied massage is one of the baskets that I've theoretically spoken to you about. Yeah. Ruchi has a question? Yes.
And when we do the self-applied massage, how do
Yes.
we do the head part?
How do we do what part?
It's the head part. The rest of the body is clear. The head part, how do we do?
The head part, we
The
actually,
rest
for
of the
example,
body is clear.
okay, the head part, for example, suppose we start at the top of the head. We start either tapping, or if you're not worried about the hairstyle, then you can even massage it like this and comb your hair later. So we go free flow in because it's called integral Qigong and Tai Chi. So how you do it is absolutely no problem at all. But the idea is to actually get your get the energy moving. So people use fingers to tap lightly based on how much of pressure is good for you, you think is good for you, or they can actually rub across. So rubbing is one method, tapping is one method. Some of the places you can use the knuckles. For example, I can use my knuckles to tap this region. Even the thighs also, I use my knuckles. So it depends on your mood of the day, what you prefer in terms of which modality you would like to use. So that's we start off with the top of the head, then some people go to the sides, some people go to the back. So you cover all the regions. Then you cover the forehead by tapping. This is also very good for migraine, sinusitis, etc. Then the eyebrows, and then of course you wouldn't want to perhaps tap on the eyes. So what you do is on the eyes you use more of rubbing, and then on the cheeks and chin you can tap. These are also called so in EFT you tap on the upper lip, it increases confidence. You tap on the lower lip, on the chin, below the lower lip, it actually increases decision making power. So instead of asking the person to go and attend a workshop on decision making, 10 minutes of tapping every day may improve his or her decision making skills. So there's a shortcut to skilling a person or changing somebody's state of mind or body. So that's how you do it. So you go down and tap every part. That's as far as self-applied massage is concerned. So in the workshop, of course, we'll be doing it in detail. So we have seen a little bit, thanks to Ruchi, about how self-massage is done, self-applied massage is done. So one basket tasted. So as far as breath basket is concerned, that's the second basket I'll take you through right now. So one, of course, what we do is called remembering breath. There is not too much of a visible practice, but you all know, I'm not even asking you, I'm going and telling you, because so that we can save some time, is that we breathe from the chest. This is more of sympathetic breathing, fight or flight mode. But if we can go down like small babies to parasympathetic breathing or belly breathing, we can cultivate it. Then what happens is you get into a more of relaxed mode, cruise mode, and you're able to conserve energy, and you know you're sailing smoothly. There's no tension from here. Most of the people breathe here from here nowadays because the tensions, anxieties, competitiveness, and the world is like that nowadays. So if just by training someone to come back from here to here, this being the base camp, you can actually change a person's life. Just teaching somebody to breathe from the belly. When you breathe from the belly, what happens is as you inhale, the belly comes out, and as you exhale, the belly goes in. So if that can be practiced, some people may take just 1 week, some people may take 2 months to get into that in a subconscious, at a subconscious level, which means automatically it has to happen. It may take you 2 or 3 months, or for some people, it may just take 10 days to learn. That is something which will absolutely change people's life. Breath brain coherence, which means the brain works much better, all the parts get more oxygen, etc., etc. So many benefits of breathing properly from the belly most of the time. When you get excited, when you want to actually give an emergency response, or when you're running a 100 meters race, you breathe from here. That's absolutely okay. And we are saying 70-80% of the time you're here, it's perfectly fine. It's good for you. Sometimes when you're in fight or flight mode, it's okay for you to go into chest breathing and get excited and actually address the situation. So there's nothing right or wrong. Appropriate is what we are looking at. So when you remember to breathe from the belly 4-5 times a day, it's a practice in Tai Chi and Qigong called remembering breath. So it's not something which is to do with too much of physical movement. It's remembering to breathe from the belly about 4 or 5 times a day so that life changes for the better. That is one breath practice. Are you breathing from the belly or the chest? Would you like to check now? Why don't you breathe a few times and check? And we'll discuss how you know whether you're breathing from the belly or the chest. Chest or belly? Anyone can go. A few responses. Yeah.
After you mentioned it, I think my consciousness had to work and ensure I'm doing something.
Yeah, absolutely. So subconsciously, if you can always breathe from the belly, life will be different. Life will be great. Life will be joyful. Life will be peaceful. Yet you will be achieving what you want to achieve much more easily.
How do we do that? It's just a reminder.
Okay. So reminder in the head, and physically how it happens is, suppose you're breathing from the chest. It's very easy to know because your shoulder and chest and shoulder will be going up and down. So you will be more in a vertical movement. And most of my clients I've seen when they come to me, they start with, they come and we see that they're breathing from the chest because they're going up and down. But the moment you start breathing from the belly and it becomes a practice, then slowly you will see that there's no horizontal, not too much of vertical movement. There is only horizontal movement of the belly. So if you're breathing from the belly, as you inhale, the belly moves out. And when you're exhaling, the belly goes inside. So a few seconds in and a few seconds out. Rather than the shallow breathing, you get into a slightly more deeper breathing and more relaxed breathing, parasympathetic breathing. Takes a few weeks, absolutely okay. You will get it. So that's one physical sign that I use to see whether somebody is breathing from the chest or belly. So how about Neha? How about Vanita? How about Ruchi? Where do you think you're breathing from? What is the discovery?
Well, I frankly follow pranayam every day.
Fantastic.
So I really kind of little conscious of my breathing.
Great.
I try to do this, whatever I've learned little bit
Great.
from the masters. Yeah.
Fantastic.
But yes, definitely this is an enlightenment.
Thank you very much. Ruchi and Vanita, are you there or there?
Yeah, I'm there. I think I'm breathing from the chest, but
Okay.
when I'm doing my pranayams, then I know I have to do it from the belly. But right now,
Fantastic.
when I just monitored, it was from the chest.
So it can become a way of life slowly by practice, actually. Ruchi ji,
Currently, I'm super relaxed. So it was all my belly. Now it's lifting up and down.
excellent, excellent.
Yeah. When I'm
Oh.
coordinating with my clients, it's not that way. Then it's mostly chest breathing.
Yeah, I know. Most of the world is there actually, because that's why we're in conflict and so many things are happening. People are not relaxed. That's the problem. Harish,
Yeah,
ab upar ho, niche ho.
I think I think I am taking from belly.
Oh, fantastic. That's
I
good
think
news.
I am taking from belly.
Very good. That's good news for me and for you also. Fantastic. So on that note, what we'll do is we will go forward to the next breathing practice, breath practice. I want all of you to, I'm not yet asking you to stand. We'll stand for the next practice actually. So your hands are parallel to the body. Your elbows are jutting out. Okay, so your hands are not perpendicular to the body. They are parallel to the body. Okay. And you can use it, you can keep them at the thigh level, and slowly as you come up, you inhale and as you go down, you exhale. This is where Qigong starts. Your spine is erect, you're as straight as possible. And you're enjoying it in the present. Inhale as you will, and exhale as you come down. Slow is the winner. The slower, the better. We'll do it just 2 more times. Get involved in the experience and see how it feels. I'm not closing my eyes because I could get lost and not come back. That's the reason I'm keeping my eyes open. Otherwise, you can close your eyes and actually get immersed in the experience. In fact, I still want to do one more time. So let me enjoy myself. The danger is it is addictive, and I better warn you now itself. Oh my, I don't feel like stopping. Okay, just one more I'll give myself. Let me pamper myself just one more time. How do I stop? I don't know. And relax. People, this is one danger. You could get in and not get out. So ask your family to keep checking on you. So this is the experience that we're talking about. Just one movement out of 25, 30 that you will learn. And this one movement, there is so much to talk about. So it's like that. It is very, very deep. And like somebody said, Tai Chi and Qigong can be deceptively simple. Don't let the simplicity fool you, is what they say. What is this? This is nothing. What have you done? Nothing at all. But yet there's so much in this. So I would like to know your experience as to what happened, and then I'll tell you about what I know. Some sound bites. What happened or did not happen? It's all about experience. That's the reason it's a feedback-based model. Yeah. Yes, Vanita.
Yeah, it was very relaxing.
It was?
Very calming. Yes,
Okay.
just a few moments, but very relaxing.
Thank you very much. Ruchi,
Very deeply relaxed.
very deeply relaxing. Okay. Thank you.
It was difficult for me to move after that.
I know.
Come out to the. I'm still like pretty much
Very dangerous, isn't it?
very.
Neha.
So I was doing this with my eyes closed, and
Oh,
I generally follow this breath meditation as well.
yes, yes,
And yes, I think you were very true that you want to sit for longer in this,
yes,
and
yes.
you can't do it like for 1 minute or 2 minutes.
No, no,
You
no,
wanted
no.
to sit for like long and repeat
You
this.
can get
Yeah.
drunk on it. I'm telling
Yes.
you.
Yeah. So
What about Harish? Thank you so much. Harish is lost already. I mean, already in meditative state. Harish, are you there? Okay. So what we will do is, yeah, yes, Deepak. Somebody was saying something, either Harish or Deepak. Okay. So fine. So we'll go forward. So there are a lot of things happening here which I'll have to tell you. One is some people cannot go all the way. The breath is not so deep. So they come here and they say, no, I'm not able to do it more than that. So over a period of time, when you're teaching someone or you yourself are practicing, then breath will become deeper and deeper as you practice on a daily basis. That's the reason why why I say that it takes 5 minutes to learn, but a lifetime to practice and get more and more graceful every day as you work on your finis and grace. So what is also happening is while your breath deepens, when you're moving, your monkey mind has no other option but to focus on the movement. Hence, some people who are not able to meditate directly, you or your client, you can actually give them through the body, you can approach the mind into stillness. So that is what I found very nice, very as a powerful tool in therapy. Somebody who's not able to meditate directly, I'm able to make them get into meditative stillness through movement because the monkey mind, the left brain is engaged through the movement. And hence, automatically, you have no choice but to get into mindfulness. You have no choice but to get into mindfulness because your mind and body is totally engaged. So that way. And then there is also the Ida and the Pingala, the left and the right side of the body are being balanced through this movement. Because you're moving your left hand and right hand, you know that the left side of the brain is connected to the right side of the body and vice versa. The Ida and the Pingala, the material and the spiritual, both get balanced when you're doing this. So, and there is also one more thing that is there, which comes from my learning of NLP also. See, in the Vedas, in Vedic chanting, in Hindu, for example, mythology and all this, in Hindu tradition and all this, when you're chanting the mantras, there is also a physical movement of the hands and all that, if you've really noticed. So, what we do is what I have done is I fused NLP and Tai Chi. So, when you're actually affirming something as you do movement, the subconscious mind is nothing but the muscle memory of the entire body. You can refer to the book called The Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton. It's a wonderful book. He talks about the subconscious mind being the cell level memory of the body. So as you are doing an affirmation, I would like to gather more willpower. I would like to, get healed or whatever. The subconscious mind reprogramming happens, and whatever you want happens much faster because it gets embedded at the muscle level. Reprogramming happens at the muscle level. So if you want to actually do therapy for your clients and they want to get out of something or get into something, get into a positive resource or get out of a negative resource, they can affirm along with movement. This becomes a fantastic fusion actually. So I use this in therapy, combining affirmation and movement. So there's so many things happening in this seemingly simple thing. Yeah. So this is about one of the movements. So it can be a simple movement, or it can be movement with affirmation. Any change that one wants in life can be brought about much more faster by doing this. Suppose I want to go for a walk and I've not been able to go for a walk. I just saying, I see myself going for a walk regularly from tomorrow onwards, and you'll find that the person is able to get up much more faster and much more easily get into the habit of walking. Any change at all that you want in a person can happen very easily by combining affirmation and movement, any kind of movement. So shall we move forward? So this is one movement. So we've talked about one basket, which is self-applied massage. I've given you a little bit of jhalak. Second is breath basket you have seen. In breath also, there is movement along with breath. And after some time in all this Qigong and Tai Chi practices, what happens is you will go from the form, the physical form, to moving energy. So after that, you will not find any pain or whatever it is, because you will feel the energy moving. You'll be working more with the energy body than with the physical body. So it'll move very gracefully, and you'll actually find the shift of energy as you move up and down throughout the body. Right now, it is more of physical effort. Slowly, you get into more of moving energy, and energy moves the body rather than you moving the body directly. That's what I mean by graduating from working with the physical body to working with the energy body. That happens over a period of time as you practice along. So this is a Qigong movement. I'll give you another Qigong movement. I would request all of you to stand at this point of time. Okay, so now that you're all able to see me, just relax yourself, free any stress which might be there. Yeah, and what we'll do is we will, legs are parallel to each other, hands by your sides. Now here you are going to move the entire body. So when you move your hands, unlike the gathering essential breath, this breath movement which you did is called gathering essential breath. Unlike that breath movement, now here what you'll do is your hands are perpendicular to the body. So you're actually moving your hands like this, not like this. Yeah, like this. Yeah. So what you can do is move your hands, start moving along with me as you inhale. You can go all the way down. And then as you're coming down, you're exhaling. And once again, inhale as you go up. Your palms are facing the sky and you're going up with both the arms. And as you're going up now, when you come down, you can do it at your own pace. Swing a little forward, which means your balance is going to be transitioning to your toes. Just a little forward. As you go up, you lean forward. And as you go down, you lean back again so that the balance is transferred to your knee, to your heel. Just be careful that you don't fall backward. So, but then transition. So you're going up, inhaling and moving forward, going down slowly and nicely and easily, and swinging back. One more challenge, complication that we will add is as you're going forward, rise on your toes. And as you go down and back, lean back on your heels and just raise your fingers a little bit, not too much, so that you're balancing is retained. Once again, as I go forward, I rise on my toes and go up as I inhale. And as I go down, I come back and shift my balance on my heels. If you would like to also add one more complication or just watch me as I do it, you can lean and you can bend on your knees and then rise. It is called sink and rise. Rise on your toes. And then again, as you come down, you go back, sink and rise. Sink and rise on your toes. As you lean forward and as you come down, exhale, go back, sink and relax. So we'll just do it one more time. Sink and rise as you go forward. Come down and relax. This is called flowing motion, and you can all sit down. This is called flowing motion, and this is one of the key movements or one of the Qigong movements which is enjoyed by a lot of people. As you see, there are a lot of challenge factors or a lot of additions that you need to do. One is you're transitioning your balance. The second is you're aligning your breath along with your movement, and you're also transitioning your balance from back to front. You're also going up, on your toes, and you're coming back on your heels. You're sinking and rising along with this movement. So there are 4 or 5 dimensions to the movement which you can add one after the other as you practice daily. So initially it can just be swinging forward and back, and slowly then you can start raising on the 3rd day or the 4th day when you practice. You can start raising on your toes and going back on your heels, because when you go back you have to be very careful that you don't fall off. Takes just 5 or 10 minutes to learn, and it can take 6 months to move with grace, because there is a breath aspect, there is a balance aspect, there is a grace aspect, there is a so many aspects are there. And then in spite of all this, you need to be mindful and you need to be enjoying it. So it can take a lifetime. Just one moment is something which we can spend 6 months in, because it's all about the grace. So when you do this, if you're able to balance yourself, that means metaphorically in life also you're moving very smoothly. If you are not, for example, able to balance yourself here, by balancing yourself here through daily practice, you also find that life becomes as beautiful, as balanced, as smooth in terms of your driving or cooking or communication or conflict resolution or whatever it is. The moment you achieve balance in body, balance in life also happens, because body and mind are so connected to what is happening out there. You do it 100 times. The Chinese say that you will be in good health. You do it 1,000 times. As I keep repeating, they say that you can become immortal. So between good health and immortality, whatever you want, flowing motion is one of the highlights of Qigong and Tai Chi, which you've already learned without coming into the workshop. So that's a powerful gift that I can give you. And Tai Chi and Qigong are supposed to be anywhere, anytime, anyone kind of practices. You can do it sleeping. Somebody who's handicapped, somebody who's challenged in any way can do it. Somebody who's sitting in a wheelchair can do it. You can do it sitting in the sofa and get lost, very addictive. Or you can do it, driving a car at the red light. I keep doing it for 1 minute. I don't know what to do, so I just keep doing this. And the driver on the left and right are staring at me saying, what has happened to this guy? So this is something which can be done anytime, and you get very, very smooth in life. Your bath becomes a Tai Chi bath, your cooking becomes Tai Chi cooking, everything becomes Tai Chi and Qigong become a way of life. So this is one movement from the movement basket. In terms of meditation, all of you, many of you have done yoga, and you all would be aware of different kinds of meditations which exist. In Tai Chi and Qigong, there are, about 4 or 5 types of meditation which exist. Just like, one of the things that we do is, we'll not get into it because it's already 9:30, but I'll just give you an inkling, or, as to how it happens. You're standing just like we stood earlier, and we hug a tree. We imagine there's a tree and we hug it. And that tree can be your favorite tree in a favorite place of your choice. And then what we do is, there's a Tai Chi pose in which you stand. Your legs are slightly bent at the knees, and that is the Tai Chi pose. And then you imagine that the tree is actually giving you the yin and the yang energy, because the tree is very, very firmly connected to the yin energy of the earth, and also reaching out to the yang energy of the heavens. It's a beautiful balance of yin and yang. So you actually request the tree gracefully to give you the yin and the yang energies, and thank it for doing so. And you then feel the energies being balanced in yourself, a mix of the yin and yang. And after about 3 or 4 minutes, you thank the tree, you are in gratitude, and slowly you come back and relax. So that's called hugging the tree meditation. So like this, we have different variants of meditation that you would have otherwise seen in life. So that's the meditation basket. So meditation basket, movement basket, breath basket. There are many breathing techniques which will be wonderful actually, and there's some which children also love. You start laughing. I've done it for corporate audiences. People are in splits by the time they finish the half an hour, 45 minutes that we do for them, and they become children, because there's some atrocious techniques where you leave your adulthood and actually get into becoming children. There's something where you just and all that, so all the adults become children. They lose 30 years at one go. So that way. So there are all these techniques that we do in the workshop. So breath, movement, meditation, and what is the other one? Massage. These are the 4 baskets. So that's all which is there, which we could cover in the 1.5 hours. I think we went a lot into the theory part, but I think that was useful actually. So the workshop starts 26th, and I think we will go through 8 days. Typically, I used to offer it at 5,000 rupees. I used to offer it 3,500. For Deepak's group, I said I'll offer it at 2,000 Indian rupees for the 8 hours. And after that, we have Sunday practice where we keep doing about 45 minutes of practice every Sunday. There's a group. I have all my students who gather, and we do a half an hour, and then we log out. That will be a lifetime support that you will get. Every Sunday, we can keep practicing something that we have learned in the workshop. And yeah, so I was thinking, I forgot one thing. So if all of you give me 1 minute, I'll just tell you about, so we have not got into Tai Chi movements. I showed you Qigong movement, which is the flowing motion. Tai Chi movement, there are 5 forms that we learn at the level which I teach you. So the Tai Chi movements are, for example, if I want to show you one of the movements, it's called harmonizing yin and yang. So doing it slower and slower and slower may take 6 months, but learning it, that's one of the questions which Vanita asked, and as I'm answering it many times. Practicing it and mastering it may take a lifetime. So, but you get more and more graceful as you practice it. So this is called harmonizing yin and yang. So, and then the second one is, of course, it might all be confusing for you. This is called brush knee senchi. So you brush your knee and Sen Chi. So this is the second movement actually, and they've got Chinese names also. You gather fresh energy, form the ball again, Tai Chi ball, and again you do the movement. So like this. There's a particular way, there are nuances. All those nuances we'll discuss in the workshop. Then the third movement is called cutting through to clarity. So it's like a karate chop done in slow motion. So there are a lot of subtle details that, as to how to do it, how to transition the hands, which hand is where when you're transitioning and all that. How do you shift balance from left to right? All that is there. Then there's one more beautiful movement, which is called the watching the passing clouds. You actually are watching beautiful clouds pass by. So that is one movement. And then how do you do the leg work? How do you do the body movement? All that is part of the learning. And then there is something called, the fifth one is called gathering from heaven and earth, gathering from earth and heaven. So you gather energy, yin energy, and then gather the yang energy from the heaven and give it to yourself. So this is also one kind of balancing and optimizing of yin and yang energies. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. So any questions you can ask? I'm yours, all yours. The 1 week is a delight because you pass through so many things and you're able to enjoy the slow. In that 1 week itself, people have been transformed actually.
What will be the timing of this?
Well, that's a nice question. So what I normally do is Indian time, I fix it in the morning or evening, depending on how the batch wants it. So where are you now? Which location?
I'm in Kenya.
You're in Kenya. So how does the time work for you?
It's right now. It's 7. It's 7 past 7.
7 past 7
PM.
So
Yeah.
I'll answer your question in a very simple way. Either you get into a batch at a convenient timing, or I could do a one-to-one also with you. That's not a problem. In the sense, in exceptional cases, or maybe you could find out 2 or 3 people to join you in your location, and then we could do it as a batch, small batch. So we could work it out. Nothing is impossible, as you know. We could work out something.
Okay. Thanks.
Sure. Any other questions? Anyone
The
has?
same question. I'm just concerned about the timing because I
You're
have now
concerned?
newer classes and they're groups, so I can't adjust them.
Okay. So what you can
So-
do is you can indicate, suppose you want to attend the Tai Chi, the Qigong and Tai Chi workshop. It's called Qigong and Tai Chi practitioner. That's a certification that comes from us. So you can give me your indicative timings. I would like to attend. These are the timings that are possible. So I'll just coordinate with everybody who registers, and then we will have the common timing given to people actually. So you indicate the possible timings, we'll make it possible. No problem.
I'm just praying for that.
Yeah. There are 3-4 people
And-
outside this group also waiting for it. So I'll just combine everybody and then we'll have about 7, 8, 10 people in the batch actually.
Sure, please, will you be sharing the form or something in which we can put our expression of interest?
Yeah. I will share a
Mhm.
form. Maybe I'll share a Google Doc form and then you can fill that and send it back to us.
Wonderful. And also, do you take sessions for patients?
With patients?
Patients,
Yes,
some
yes,
of
I
them
do.
who are just able to sit and maybe not able to stand.
Yeah, so we can actually, work it out as to what is the case and whether it's possible for me, whether, I would be able to do it. And in case I think it's possible for me to take it up, then we can definitely take it up and, deliver results. Because
I have your
there's-
number through the group. So
yes, I will actually share the number in the group, right? I mean, I'm in the group, so my number will be there.
already have it.
Yes. Neha, anything that you would like to express?
Yeah, maybe I would come back to you requesting the another time because I have little injury in my right hand right now, so I cannot really move it with total liberty. I think this should be fine by Diwali.
No problem at all.
So
I keep having batches every month, so there's no problem.
So yeah, so this current batch, though I can, but I would be interested, but it is not practically possible. So maybe post
No
Diwali
problem.
is something I will have to consider that. Yeah,
Perfect. Always available.
sometime
No
later
problem.
November or December 1st. That's what.
Yeah. I'm around for the next 50 years, so no problem.
Nice.
I'm 50. I've planned for the next to be up till 100. So in between, anytime you are welcome.
Yeah, sure. I
Yeah.
am definitely gonna come back to you. Yeah.
Sure. Harish? Okay, I think
I think it's a similarity between the Kalari of Indian.
Kalari. Yes,
Yeah.
from Kerala. Yes.
Some moments, I feel like slow. It is slow,
Yes.
but it will be something fast, I think.
Yes. This is all about slow and getting into mindfulness and getting into the parasympathetic nerves, getting into healing, getting into a peaceful state. Wonderful. So quick before we log off, because we're already 10 minutes past time. So quick feedback from all of you. How did this session feel? That's about it. I'll not trouble you any further.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Thank you.
It's wonderful and it is beneficial also. I would like to learn more.
Done, sir. You can express your interest, and then we can take it forward. Yeah. The others, just about this session.
Yeah, I think I've already liked it so much. And
That's good news for me.
Yes, I would like to take it up.
Wonderful. We'll communicate
I
one
think
to
it
one.
will really help me to calm down, and instead of sitting and meditating for hours, you just do this and your meditation is done.
It's very, very quick. 5 minutes is all you need.
Yeah, that's what I need. Quick fix.
Don't we all need it? Yes.
Yeah. So thank you. It was good.
Sure. Ruchi and Neha, some sound bites. Today's session, this 1.5 hours.
Yeah, so it's certainly like a 20 on 10. And mostly the thing is that with these arts, it's more about the person who's conducting the session and the trainer and the energy. So you're so blessed, sir. Thank you so much for having.
Call me Srini. Drop the sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Neha?
I guess Srini, it is both ways. You are also blessed, and I think somewhere we are also blessed that we have chosen to be here today. Yeah.
Isn't that so? Yes.
Yes, and I think just a reflection of that, I'm gonna come back to join your workshop. This in itself speaks volumes about how the session is.
Say no more. Say no more.
Rather than saying fantastic, brilliant,
Yeah.
good,
No.
amazing.
Absolutely. I understand. Yes.
So yeah, definitely I would be happy to learn, and will definitely join and come back. Yeah.
On that happy note, I would want to thank Deepak and hand it over to him so that he can say.
Thank you so much, Srini, for conducting this. So, on behalf of Entrepreneurs International, because this is exclusive for the Entrepreneurs International group, I truly thank and grateful to Srini for giving us these bits. So, I normally don't endorse people, but Srini is one person I really endorse, and I've attended his course already 2 years ago, and I still have his notes.
Ooh!
Wow.
From 2 years ago, I think, I physically,
Yes. Deepak.
And it's
Wow.
amazing. The kind of, the way he conducts it, the knowledge that he has is beyond ordinary. So, as I said, it's with a rarity that I really endorse somebody. So, it's really, really beautiful. And I personally, just with what I learned in the course, in between as energizers in my trainings in the last 24 months, once or twice in between, I have run the flowing motion, which he showed, but I still have a lot to learn. I think
Yes, sir.
5 minutes, but today I just realized I still, I'm just doing it as something. So I truly recommend, Srini and his program. I'm wondering whether you got the currency wrong. It was $2,000 or 2,000 rupees.
You can choose whatever currency you want.
It's valuable. These sessions are really, really valuable. So thank you so much, Srini.
Sure.
And thank you each, one and all, for joining this session. Looking forward to see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you,
Oh, yes.
Srini. Thanks, Deepak.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care, all of you.
You too.